I quickly want to say a huge thank you to Patricia Pierce, who I am making the Digigrey bodysuit for, because she ordered me some Christmas gifts, which I am really grateful for, and thank you so much. But I'm really excited to make some custom paw keychains. Now, I've already made her one, and it's a surprise, so I'm not going to show it. But basically, if you have a paw ref sheet and you would like a custom paw resin keychain, then just shoot me a message and I will sort something out for you. And I might even do the first couple free, so definitely give me a message.
Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. So in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to attach a fursuit neck when the fur on the head is not long enough or the glue has gone all the way to the ends. Now sometimes you have to do this because depending on the fur that you use when furring a head, it can shrink with the heat of the gun. So the gun, I mean glue gun, but the heat, because okay, so fake fur is a material that is made mostly from plastics, and now because of this, plastic does melt or shrink, and using the glue gun to add it on, even if you add seam allowance, some furs shrink more than most. Therefore you either have to stretch it whilst you're putting it on. I had to do that a little bit with this lovely head, or sometimes it doesn't quite reach the ends. Now that is completely fine, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to fix this, or work with it rather than fix it, because nothing's wrong, you just gotta use a different technique. So this is the head that we are using. Lovely, beautiful head, not fully complete yet. We still have teeth to go, the tongue, as well as the head fluff, which will be an exciting video as well. So if you didn't know, this head already has the balaclava inside. Now you don't have to have the balaclava inside your fursuit head. I would definitely recommend it because I personally feel like it's more professional. But you can, if you do get a head that doesn't have a balaclava, you can just buy them. They're normally around $5.99. And you can just put the balaclava on and then put the head on, but the balaclava helps stop the sweat getting to the foam, because the foam would absorb it and eventually it would probably grow mold and it would become very yucky. So the balaclava is very much needed. Normally when I'm making a head, I will glue the balaclava to certain parts. So the balaclava is glued onto the chin area, because I needed the open bit to sit where the mouth is, because we don't want balaclava coming up to the lip and being very annoying. And we don't want it flapping around, so I had to make sure that was glued down. Then, it's quite hard to show you guys. Can you guys see? So inside I've had the balaclava glued around the eyes. It's okay if it doesn't come completely up to the eyes, that's fine. And then what I do is I add a foam. Now because it's a circle, I usually cut like 3 strips and then kind of curve it round. But this just stops any hard glue or foam rubbing against the head, and it just feels nicer when you put the head on. So I attach some foam sheet around the eye. Now as you can see, the balaclava down here is not glued because we need it to go around the mouth, not over the top of the mouth, because we want the mouth to be as breathable as possible. But you can also see that I have only glued it to the top bit rather than the sides. So what we are going to do is sort the sides of the head out, and then we are definitely going to be gluing the balaclava down to the sides before we attach the neck itself. So let's get started.
Okay, so once you have sewn in around as best as you can, even if it's sewn onto the foam a little bit, just make sure you get it through to the fur of the head as well as the neck fur. What we are going to do is, obviously on the chin bit here, it will need to be glued down. Also, I'd like to mention, so sometimes the sizing isn't perfect because it's very difficult to measure in a circle that isn't quite a circle. So we had some bits that we needed to trim. So we had to take off the long bit on one side because it ended up being too big, which is completely fine, so we took it off, but then we needed the side bits to be as even as possible. So what I did was I recarved this and cut it off because before it was all the way down and then curved to the point. So I've had to change it so it's even on both sides because we still want this kind of shoulder gap here on the side. And I keep all the pieces just in case we want to sew it back on, because we can do that very easily. So just take your time with it and make sure you look at it from while it's open as well as up, and just fold it in half if need be and see how it looks evenly. And even if it's not even, that's okay. Obviously it's a bit harder to do if you've got markings on your neck, but this is what we've got so far. So I'm going to add some glue here, and then I'm going to sew a tiny bit on the sides, and then I'm going to glue the balaclava. Okay, so what I'm doing now, so I've started off at the jaw, I've glued the jaw down, and now I'm gluing the balaclava to the neck and the rest of the head. Now doing this will kind of stretch the balaclava out so that there's more room inside when you put it on, so I would say more airflow. The balaclava also Sky, just wait a minute darling, please. The balaclava also stops sweat getting to the foam, and also by doing this I'm gluing it just up to the seam line that we've just sewn. This way the glue keeps it shut better, like it adds extra support to it, and it will help hide the seam as well. But what you want to do is you want to do like about 1.5 inches maximum each time all the way around. One, because it's a curve and you're going to need to hold it down a little bit, and then you're also going to want to, once you've pressed it down, is what I do is I do this and I rub it as hard as I can, because you want to try and get that glue to smooth out. Any lumpy bits, when I put the glue on, I use the tip of the glue gun to spread it out anyway, but you do want to kind of basically smooth it out with your fingers. But what I do is I have a little bowl of water, I'll dip my fingers in, just because then if any glue comes through, then it won't get stuck to my fingers, because the water's there to protect my fingers, and it also helps with the heat as well. And that is how you make a fursuit neck go onto a head that's being very difficult. As you can see, it blends in really well. The shoulder piece sits nicely on the shoulder, even on the mannequin, and it should do on the human. Can see no seam lines, nothing. All the fur's looking good. And the same on the back. Enough room here for the head to go in, that's why you can see it bulking out, but that's only because we want to make sure the head can go in, because obviously the head's bigger than the neck. But this is normal, and it should just sit nicely once it's on. And let's be real, when you have a really adorable fursuit head, no one's really going to be paying much attention to the neck. But either way, it looks amazing. Now, I know a lot of people line the necks on the inside. Now, I think it looks very beautiful. However, the only problem with this is a lot of the time fursuits need refurbishing, or just a little kind of like a re-sew up, because seams can rip. It's very common, especially on the neck, because it's always used to pull the head on. So doing that, it makes it very difficult to get to the seams to basically fix your neck up with. Otherwise you're just going to have to remake the neck and redo it. So I feel like this is the best way to do it without covering up any things unnecessarily, because I think it looks perfect. It should feel fine. And yeah, there we go. So this head is almost done. I've just got to clean up the ears, give it a final shave, do the mouth, teeth, tongue, and the hair floof, which will be in another video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Keep an eye out for the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!